Hello! Welcome to the Ram Show. I know it's been a few weeks since our last show, holidays and stuff like that. So with that being said, let me do this. Hi, Zach. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yep.
I got Zach, and we've got me here. All right, let's see here. Everything's looking good there. I don't think we have anyone on with us right now, but that's okay. Anyway, so first things first, I want to give a quick update here. Moving forward for 2018, we are going to be introducing a brand new start time for the Ram Show. So instead of it being 5 o'clock, it's going to be 5:30. There's just some things with work and stuff like that gonna make it a little bit easier for me if we start, about a half an hour later. But other than that, still planning on doing it on Sundays, things like that. So that's all good. With that being said, I guess real quick, what I like to do, and hopefully we don't banter too long on this, but what have you been up to the last couple of weeks since we haven't been, doing anything here?
Not too much.
Not
I'm
too
hoping
much.
to get a new desk. That's what I'm hoping to do because so maybe you remember the one that I had, right? Well, I didn't bring it here. I'm at home now for the month for
Right,
winter
right.
break, and I'm just sitting here with a folding table. And it's I don't know, less than perfect.
Less than superb.
Yes, I mean it works, I guess.
It works, yes. Okay, so you plan on getting a new desk. So a longer desk, right?
Yes. So then eventually I can replace the one that I have with that because maybe you also saw how my three monitors kind of sort of hang
You
off
know
the
what?
edge.
It's been a while since I've seen this setup.
I mean, okay, so maybe you remember the the four-pronged base that all my monitors have, right? Well, the two on the side, like half the base is just off the
Yeah,
It looks
exactly.
really silly.
It looks a
But
little like
fingers crossed, I haven't broken any of them by them falling off, so yeah.
hang on, hey, knock on wood or plywood or whatever this is, but oh, here we go. There we go. Knock on wood that you haven't broken anything yet.
Actually, I think they're a little bit more stable than they look, so it should be fine.
I think so too, but I do remember this. I was the one who originally gave you the idea of, because you were like,
Oh yeah.
I want three monitors, and I was like, but you're like, so okay, so here's the thing. You wanted three monitors, but your dilemma was that
Yeah,
you didn't
I
have enough
remember.
room on the desk. So I was like,
So
why don't you just get a
instead
monitor
there's a
on?
mount now, right?
Yeah, I was
Well,
like,
here's the thing. I ditched the mount because I realized that if I set it just right, I can get it to kind of
you can get it to
kind of
what?
fit. I can get it to fit,
Oh.
kind of, like with the bases hanging off, but it still fits in giant air quotes.
I would be like too concerned to do that. I would be like, no, something's gonna go wrong. So,
It's been many months since then, actually.
so
Still
real quick here, I have to tell you about it didn't happen to me, but it happened to one of my coworkers, and my new position and I'll say this real quick, and then we'll get into the topics. But speaking
Right.
of like things possibly going wrong and like scare moments and things like that, this was like a oh crap moment, or oh s moment, but we're not going to say that word on the
Oh
stream.
snap!
Yeah, we'll replace the word with snap, but basically,
Oh snap moment.
anyway, so the new position that I'm working at is now I work at a TV station for anyone who doesn't know, but I went from production to master control. Just a different opportunity. There were some circumstances that led to me changing positions. Nothing bad or anything like that, but anyway, change of scenery, shall we say? But so anyway, so I'm in master control now. Well, up in master control, our job is to monitor the three stations that we run. So we have our main station, we have our secondary station, and then we have a third station that we really don't do anything with. We're just basically like a rebroadcaster of it. So it's managed and stuff by like a whole nother network that's not us. So we really don't do anything with it. We just, like I said, make sure that it's on the air. We monitor it, basically. Well, we have our main station, which is, you know, like our main station. That's the one that's front and center and things like that. And then we have a secondary station, which is like, yeah, it's important, but it's kind of like, if something goes wrong, you don't worry about it as much as you would if it happened on the main channel. If anything happens on our third channel, we just call a phone number and they take care of it. So anyway, so for the two channels that we specifically run, we have a on-air automation software, which is basically kind of like a big giant iPod with all of our shows and all of our commercials and stuff in it and things like that. Which, if you would imagine, Zach, is a pretty crucial part of our station.
Yeah?
Yeah, so
it might be.
It's responsible for keeping us on the air. Now, I would hope that there is some redundancy in the system somewhere. But knowing
I
don't actually know, but knowing how things tend to work around our station, I would not be surprised if there isn't some type of redundancy.
I guess you'll find out if anything ever breaks.
If we ever lose power or anything like that, we have a backup generator, but it doesn't kick in soon enough. And for whatever odd reason, although I'm not really all that surprised, if that tells you anything, like, none of that stuff is on a UPS like it probably sort of should be.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a thing that really should be.
So, anyway, so if the power ever goes out, like, everything just goes down. The wonderful part is...
What's the point of having a backup generator if you're still going to lose all of what's happening?
Because we're a TV station, we're supposed to be on 24/7.
Yeah, but you just said that you're going to lose it anyway because it doesn't kick in fast enough.
Theoretically.
I guess it means that you can get back up right away, but
it
also seems like a pretty big flaw.
Yeah, I would hope that, and I don't know this for sure. Maybe that stuff is on a UPS, but again, the way things are around our station, I would not be surprised if there isn't any UPS backup systems, or if there are, the batteries are probably dead. So,
how's the battery dead when it's literally plugged in all the time?
Think about it. Trickle charging. If you take something, you always have it plugged in. It overcharges the battery. It lasts less time.
Well, no, I mean most modern batteries have overcharge protection.
Some things do, not all things. But anyway, or they've just been in there long enough to the point where they've, just...
Or, I mean, I would be more worried about the batteries just being shot because they're so old.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. Anyway, so, to my point of the story real quick, and that is that there's a lot of static discharge that builds up when we're up there, right? I have consistently, for the last couple of weeks, I'll get up to, we have to check closed captioning and make sure that our transmitter is, within our transmitting limit and stuff like that. And there's things called, what is it? Basically, there's something that can happen where if we're like broadcast, or if there's like too much of it, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's radiated power or something like that. But basically, if there's too much of it, it can actually fry our transmitter. And those things are not cheap, of course, as you can probably imagine. So we have to monitor it every hour. So as I get up to, do that, there's a lot of metal stuff up there. So I'm constantly like, because I keep shocking myself up there. Well, my coworker the other day...
Sounds like a place to avoid.
So my coworker and another coworker actually were up there because it was shift change. And we get these cues and stuff like that to roll breaks and stuff like that from our network. And so, the cue came up, and so my coworker goes over and he hits the button to tell the automation system to roll the brake. Well, as he hits it, he gets this giant shock that goes up his arm. He feels it, and then both of the monitors for the on-air automation software turn black for about 10 to 15 seconds.
Ooh.
And so, at this point...
How does it feel to be a fuse?
So, but, like I said, theoretically there's no redundancy in the system, so if the software, gets closed or the computers go off, we're off the air. So, I can only imagine my coworker, it's not like a, oh, snap moment. It's a, oh, snap moment. Because, like, it's bad enough, like, you know, if something happens on one station, but when it's both of them at the exact same time, you know? Like, yeah. So anyway, so that's my, like, oh snap story for the week. So anyway, but yeah. So I'm waiting for stuff to, you know, I'm waiting for that day where I'm up there where something just goes totally wrong and I have to deal with it and things like that. Now, luckily, like, there are a few things that I can do myself and, you know, check and see, nope, it's not this problem. Nope, it's not this problem. Well, okay, I don't know what it is. I call an engineer and then I make it their problem. But anyway.
It's not this problem. It's not this problem, but it's now your problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi. I've tried this and I've tried this and I don't know what else to try. And yeah, by the way, we're off the air. So anyway, I should probably start with, hi, we're off the air. I've tried this and I've tried this. So anyway, but
yeah, I guess that makes some sense.
So yeah, the thrills of working in live television and things like that. But anyway, oh, really quick funny story. I know you're not really into sports, but you could probably laugh at this. So we had a football game on today. And
okay.
as we're sitting there watching it, because we're waiting for breaks and stuff like that, one of the players, like, I think he got upset about something, and he spikes the ball into the ground, right? Well, the ball comes up and, like, hits one of the offensive players, like, in the chin, knocks his helmet off, and then knocks him backwards.
So I'm going to assume he might have gotten in a little hot water for that?
No, they didn't call it at all, which was surprising. But yeah, so it was pretty
like
hilarious.
One of those things that people get yelled at for. How do they not?
I don't know, but yeah, usually you get like an unsportsmanlike conduct, something like that. But no, they didn't call it at all, which is weird. But no, I'm still technically being trained on the weekend, so there was somebody else with me, and so he saw it, and he's like, "Wait, did that just happen?" I was like, "What?" And then they replayed it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's funny." So I probably shouldn't have laughed at it, but it was pretty funny. So anyway, all right, let's get into tech topics for this week, shall we?
Perhaps.
So
yeah, I would say.
Now, I would say I would. Oh, you are. Never mind. Okay, you are looking at the rundown. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Good for you. Thank you for doing that. Now,
like that.
Now all I need you to do is fix your status in Slack.
Oh, I don't even know. I thought we went over this months ago and decided it was too much work.
No, I figured out how to do it. Did you not see my instructions that I sent you the other day?
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I'll look maybe later.
Yeah.
When I can be bothered.
I mean, the thing for me is...
It doesn't seem like a very big problem, though.
It's nice for me, though, because I know if you're there, because you don't always respond to me. But this way, at least I know that, hey, you're at least active, you know? So there's a good chance that you saw it. Anyway, all right. So this is something that was talked about being done here in Iowa. I don't know if they've talked about it being done in Minnesota. I actually like this idea, but China is offering an alternative to physical identification cards. This is the part where you interject your thoughts.
Oh, I thought you were still going. Okay, so,
No, this is why I paused.
So, how exactly does this work, I suppose? I mean, okay.
We'll get to it.
Here's what I should say, is how...
Okay,
so
well,
what, is
hang
this, like,
on.
on your phone or something?
Yes, it is on your phone. First off, let me call you out real quick here. How exactly does this work? Well, had you read the article, you would know, but...
Yeah, but I only clicked on it like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, fine. I'll give you a pass this week. Anyway. So, yes, it's on your phone. So, it's using a popular messaging... So, this is what I don't understand. It's using a popular messaging app to roll out a new electronic ID system. So, I'm not quite sure if they, like, send it to you through the, like messaging app and then like you download it or something. I'm not quite exactly sure on all that, but
Not only that, but how do they make sure it's legit? Like, you present your digital ID. How does the person checking your ID know it's legit?
we'll get to that. I'm sure part of it has to do with like I don't know. I'm sure that there are safeguards in place
Yeah,
at least.
I am too. I'm just curious what they are.
I honestly have no idea. It doesn't say anything about that in the article. But the pilot program is letting Chinese citizens register and store a virtual version of their official state-issued ID cards through WeChat. Is the app that they're using. One of the hottest apps in the country. Now the Chinese city of do you have the article open?
Yeah, I do.
Care to help me out, Zach?
No, I can't.
Gu
Of that one.
and Guz.
That place.
Nadsha.
That place.
I just murdered
I know
that,
that place.
but whatever that is, that district is behind the pilot program, and on Tuesday, said it will be rolled out nationwide in January. So starting, literally probably, well, tomorrow is the brand new year. So yeah, oh yeah, Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. So the Chinese city of so that Chinese city anyway. So they're the ones who are doing it. And although WeChat isn't widely used in the U.S., the messaging app has, I guess it's like a Facebook-like popularity in China. Although, well, I don't know. You don't use social media, so you might be a bad
I've heard of it.
person to ask.
I've heard of it.
Well, no,
But
what I was going to ask is like, is Facebook as popular as they're making it sound like it is? Because I thought Twitter started to kind of take over.
Okay, but here's the problem. People who are older than us still use Facebook.
Yeah,
And
well,
there's a lot of them.
well, you know what? Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Not trying to be like, age racist here or anything like that, or yeah, whatever. You're right. A lot of like our parents' generation has started to use Facebook. And of course teens are like, Facebook used to be this awesome cool thing for teens.
Facebook is old news.
Yeah, Facebook used to be this awesome cool place where teens hung out and things like that, and it was exclusive to us. Well, the problem is then that the parent generation of, us, our parents' generation, started using it, and then it no longer was this kind of private thing that teens were using, so they moved to Twitter. And now I think it's actually Snapchat, probably, but anyway. So I like to look through Facebook, but I really don't post regularly. So anyway, not like some people do. And Snapchat, I get Snapchat, but I don't get Snapchat, if that makes any sense at all. So.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with you.
Like, I get the concept behind it, but I don't get the want behind it. Or the, yeah. I get the concept, but I don't get the want. Or the desire, I guess. I don't have the desire for it, but, some people do, some people don't. It's kind of like selfies in a way. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, anyway. The product, which comes from the Chinese company Tencent, has almost, get this, 1 billion users. Which, okay, fine. You know what? If we're talking about China here, that doesn't actually surprise me that much, because I don't even know what China's population is, but it's huge. So, I guess that doesn't surprise me all that much. So, WeChat, however, is only acting as a middleman in the ID processing. So instead, the app acts as a gateway to the new electronic ID system, a government-run operation that will... so it sounds like it's going to actually be government-run, which makes sense. I mean,
it's China you're talking about here.
Yeah. So all WeApp is doing is allowing you to access the electronic version of it, basically. Now, officials said that the goal behind the new system is to get this, help streamline online banking, which requires constant ID verification, which actually, if you think about it, is maybe not necessarily a bad thing, and maybe I wouldn't be opposed to it being adapted in the United States. Yeah, it would probably be one more pain every time I wanted to, make a transaction or something like that. But if it provides more security, I'm kind of sort of for that. And, in terms of money and things like that. But anyway.
I guess I'd need to know more about it.
Yeah, I think I would need to know more about it as well. But, like, the concept of it is something that I wouldn't be opposed to. As long as it was implemented in a correct way. You know what I mean?
I mean, it could end up not just increasing security, but also streamlining things.
You're right, it could. So, the electronic ID system can be applied to other areas as well. Like, checking into hotels, which, okay, fine. This one was one that was confusing to me. Sending mail. So, I don't know if that means that you need to have an ID to send mail in China? Maybe?
What the? How? Why?
That's what I was thinking too, but it is China, you know what I mean? So, or registering for a business, which that one makes sense as well too. Basically,
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So the process for applying for one, basically what you do, a Chinese citizen has to bring their state-issued ID card to a government scanning device, which will then read the computer chip inside the card, which I didn't know, but apparently they have computer chips inside their IDs, which, hey, miles ahead of where we are here in the United States. So
yes.
Although I don't know how you would necessarily, I think if we were going to do that in the United States, it would have to be a state-by-state implementation thing. Because if you think about it, China is like a whole, Like, I'm sure there are different, like, portions and, like, territories, or whatever they call them in China, but China is kind of, at least as far as I know, is kind of controlled as one thing, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Versus, like, the United States, where we have separate states and stuff like that, with their own laws and things like that, so WeChat users can also register for a simplified version of the electronic ID by typing in their name, ID number, and scanning their face with the app. However, the simplified version can only be used to check into hotels and internet cafes. Now, time will tell.
Oh, right, those were a thing there, too.
Yeah. I saw a video that, like, Linus Tech Tips did on, I think it was actually in Taiwan, but they actually looked pretty sweet. Anyway, but WeChat, time will tell if the new electronic ID system gains acceptance and is, get this, actually secure, which is the only other, like, concern I have about this is...
Right, I see, yeah. Okay.
Right? Okay, so it sounds like a great idea, like, oh, shoot, I forgot my wallet at home. With the advancement of Apple Pay and stuff like that.
Or how about, now I don't need to bring my wallet.
Yeah, exactly, with Apple Pay, things like that. Which, by the way, my
phone.
financial institution has not turned on. I'm a little bitter about that.
I actually have no idea if mine will let me use Apple Pay, but I also...
You can't use Apple Pay because you don't have an Apple device.
I mean, I could... was there Google Wallet? Is that what it's called?
Google Wallet, yeah. Which is what I used when I was on Android, and I absolutely loved it. It was pretty awesome. I remember, this was actually when I had a girlfriend, but she wanted food and she was going to pay for it, and I wasn't going to let her pay for it, and she didn't know that I could pay with my phone, so I whipped my phone out, tap it on the contact, the NFC contact, and it processed the transaction. Of course, that only worked the first time because then she knew I could do it, other times besides that. But it was kind of a cool little thing not having to take my wallet out. And, if I have my phone in my hand, tap, call it good, things like that. So anyway, but yeah, that is the only other thing is like, okay, I'm totally all for electronic IDs and things like that, less stuff that I have to carry around. And I always have my ID with me, theoretically, because I always have my phone with me, theoretically. But that does open up the possibility for there to be, a security, breach in there. Which, okay, I don't know. This is how it works in Iowa. I don't know if this is how it works in Minnesota. But you go to the DMV, you get your ID or your driver's license or whatever, and they hand you a paper copy of it. And then they send you your real one in the mail. And the idea is...
Yeah, we have that too.
Okay, the idea behind it is that it's supposed to be more secure. And giant air quotes right now. Because, see, here's my thing. I would think that it would be more secure to hand me my ID at the DMV with my picture on it and me
That
physically
proves that
there.
I'm who it says I am.
Yeah, with my picture
right?
on it, with me physically there, versus sending it in the mail and, you know, somebody else going through my mail and or mail getting mixed up and it getting sent to the wrong spot. That's just my theory on that. I don't know. Do you agree with me or not?
I think that sounds legit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, how can it be any more secure? Like, how can you get any more secure than physically having the person in front of you to verify that, oh yeah, this person looks exactly like the person on the ID? Because you hand them your, well, not in all cases, but, well, okay, the first time you get your ID, you have to have like a birth certificate or some other form of identification that basically says this is who you are. So, anyway. All right, let's see here. I am going to go ahead. Do you have the rundown open?
Yeah.
Because I want you to see this here. Did you see what just happened there?
Yes.
Okay. We are going to cover that topic. Generally, that means that we're not going to cover a topic. But we are going to cover this one, but just real quickly because we're going to tie it in with A4 here. So we're going to kind of skip around. So actually what I'm going to do... Boink. I'm going to do that. There we go. And then we'll come back to A3. So, make sense?
Yep.
So, okay. So, actually, you know what? We're going to, yeah, so we're actually going to drop into A4, and then we'll tie A2 into it, basically, here. See, this is what I like about you having the rundown open, is because I can make live changes to it, and you can actually keep up with what's happening with the show. So, anyway. All right, so... let's talk about one of your favorite companies, Zach.
Is it Apple? Is it Comcast? Who is it?
Well, I'm sure that as time goes on, we'll be talking more about ISPs with the whole net neutrality repeal thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't even get me started.
That's why we're not going to talk about it today. But we are talking about Apple today. So Apple was in the news last week. And this week.
Really? What they do?
Do you know what they did?
I hate to admit it, but no, I have not heard.
Okay, so it has to do with slowing old iPhones down.
Oh, I know where this is going. This is going down the planned obsolescence direction.
Yes and no. I think in the back of Apple's mind it is planned obsolescence, but what they're claiming is that you know what? I don't actually have the full article, so I'm just gonna give like the TLDR basically. But the TLDR basically is that yes, I'm sure it is planned obsolescence, but what Apple is claiming is that now. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's step back. This is what the public is claiming, is that Apple is sending updates down to older devices, in my case, my iPhone 6S, and they are intentionally slowing older devices down. Now, what has been said...
Now, if this was confirmed to be legit, that could be a big deal.
Well, okay, hang on. So... Apple has finally come out and said, yes, we are slowing older devices down.
Oh, they are.
But here is their reasoning why. Okay? Now, whether you actually agree with this or not, I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough to actually make a sound decision. You are more of a hardware person, so maybe you can have a different input. But the reasoning that they're doing this, they are saying, is that because as time goes on, so I don't disagree with them on this. As time goes on, the battery loses performance from being charged up, drained, charged up, drained. And I think you would probably agree with me on that, that is true.
That is obviously true. There's no opinion about it. It's just, this is a proven fact.
That is a proven fact. Now, what Apple is saying is because of that, the battery then provides less power to the CPU. And so what they're doing is they're slowing the devices down to compensate for the battery losing, not being as effective.
That is dumb. I think that's really dumb. That is a thinly veiled excuse for we are artificially enhancing planned obsolescence.
Well, okay, so here. Okay, so December 28, 2017, a message to our customers about iPhone batteries and performance. We've been hearing feedback from our customers about the way we handle performance for iPhones with older batteries and how we have communicated that process. We know that some of you feel Apple has let you down. Really?
And as well, you should feel that way.
We apologize. There's been a lot of misunderstanding about this issue, so we would like to clarify and let you know about some changes we're making. First and foremost, we have never and would never, giant air quotes possibly, do anything to intentionally shorten the life of any Apple product or degrade the user experience to drive customers upgrade or customer upgrades.
I mean, this is quite fishy. Like, you're handicapping the performance of your device and you're excusing the battery life? How about this?
Let me ask you this.
How about you push an update that can detect potential issues with the battery and maybe inform the user that there might be something wrong with it?
You know what? If you think about it, Apple's still making money off of you.
Shadow nerfing the performance of the device, and then when you're called out on it, just be like, "Oh, but it's so weak. Don't ruin the batteries." Or,
well, what Apple is saying that we would not, we don't have any intentions to degrade the phones in order to get consumers to upgrade their devices. But I'm pretty sure that most of us already know that is kind of sort of their intention.
Yeah, that just screams PR garbage.
From a business standpoint, I don't necessarily... Okay, and let me ask you this. From a business standpoint, I don't necessarily ding Apple on that. I don't know about you. I don't necessarily ding Apple on that because, yes, you have to sell the devices to continue to make income into the business, and you need income to obviously sustain your business and things like that.
Yeah, but that's pretty indisputably scummy.
Exactly. Okay, so and from the consumer standpoint of things,
we've done this just so you know.
Yeah, and from the consumer standpoint of things,
until they were called out.
Yeah, from the consumer standpoint of things, I totally agree with you. It is a scummy thing to do. So yeah. But Apple continues to go on to say, our goal has always been to create products that our customers love, and making iPhones last as long as possible is an important part of that. Now, they go on to say about how batteries age. All rechargeable batteries are consumable components that become less effective as they chemically age, and their ability to hold a charge diminishes, which we've already said we give them that. That's a fact of life.
That's a fact of life until somebody invents a better battery that doesn't do that.
Now, part of what they're saying is that because the CPU, so if you have a diminished battery, right, your CPU is not getting the power it needs, which could lead to unexpected shutdowns.
I don't know about unexpected shutdowns. That seems like a bit of a stretch.
So, about a year ago, preventing unexpected shutdowns. About a year ago in iOS 10.2.1, we delivered a software update that improves power management during peak workloads to avoid unexpected shutdowns on iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, iPhone 6s, and iPhone 6s Plus. As well as the iPhone SE. With the update, iOS dynamically manages the maximum performance of some system components when needed to prevent a shutdown. While these changes may go unnoticed, in some cases, users may experience longer launch times for apps and other reductions in performance.
Right, hold the phone. Now you're saying that what they did was they implemented software that detects if there are any problems, and if there are, it may limit performance?
Well, okay, and then what I believe happened is because I remember hearing about this with the releases, is that, and with every release, even the newest release of Mac OS High Sierra, they try to make improvements in the operating system to make it smarter so that the batteries last longer in your devices.
Well, that's always good, obviously.
Yes, but what they're doing is they're changing, the way they're changing the performance and stuff like that. So basically, it's like, we're turning certain things off that can be turned off at certain points to give you better performance. Basically,
so now it's not so black and white as to say,
yeah,
we definitely hindered the performance of the device. Or...
I could be wrong on that, but that's what I get out of this. Is we delivered a software update that improves power management during peak workloads. But yeah, so it dynamically manages the maximum performance of some system components. So what I'm guessing, what that says to me is that when you get to a certain point, it basically, if your battery's at a certain point, it will, possibly cause the CPU to not run at its peak performance, because that would, suck more battery. So it drops the performance a little bit.
Okay.
So
I don't know. I guess maybe I can.
And if that's true,
put down the torches and pitchforks if that's how it really is.
Okay, and if that's true, then I can possibly see some truth to the diminishing batteries, causing the devices to run slower. I can see some truth to that possibly, because if that's the way that if the software is dynamically adjusting based on how the battery is, what the battery percentage is, then, I can see where that possibly is. But I think where possibly the flaw in that is that you may still have a battery that is decently good, but when it hits a certain point, and again, I could totally be wrong on this. I haven't done all the research on this, but from what my understanding is when you get to a certain point, a certain percentage of the battery, it starts to drop the performance so that, you're not using as much battery. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Okay, so, that sounds way less evil than I first thought.
Yes and no. I could be wrong. But what I think possibly is happening if I'm correct, but what I think is possibly happening is regardless of whether you actually have a battery that's holding its charge where it should be, let's say somebody just bought a new old stock iPhone 6S, right? And they're experiencing these problems where the performance is degrading based on where the battery percentage is and not necessarily the battery itself. Does that make sense?
Maybe.
But then, actually, you know what, though? But see, then, why would... Because here's Apple's remedy to all this right now, is that they're saying, as a result of all this, we are now offering battery replacements for...
I should maybe add this. I think that a way better solution would be to be a little more transparent about this stuff.
Oh yeah, of course, always.
Like if the software has decided, hey, we're going to affect the performance of your device, the user should know that.
Oh yeah,
and not be.
I totally do not disagree with you.
Conspiracy theories as why is my phone slower? Apple did this.
Well, I'm sure in the back of, I'm sure Apple's not telling the full story, but I would be surprised. I would be surprised if some of it is not part of planned obsolescence.
Okay, fine. I can maybe agree with that.
Got to get people to buy the new shiny. You know what I mean? So, anyway, but the point of all this is that The actual story is that Apple is now offering battery replacements now. And you could always buy a battery replacement for your phone, but what Apple is now doing in response to all this, they're doing some good PR and offering battery replacements at the cost of $29.
Well, knowing Apple, that's probably a huge price cut. But
it's down from $79 to $29.
Ooh, yeah, that's definitely a huge price cut.
So earlier this week, Apple published a letter to its customers, which we just read, apologizing for slowing older iPhones as their batteries aged, and said that it would reduce the price of batteries for the affected phones from $79 to $29. Apple
is
says,
this permanent, or is this a?
I doubt it.
We want to look good. We're going to do this.
I doubt it's permanent. I bet you it's a PR stunt right now.
Okay.
But
I mean, I guess it's still something.
So, yeah, I guess it is still something. Give me 1 second here. I have to pause the show for just a moment. Let me find my correct graphic here. Give me 1 second here. Okay, we're back. had to take care of some stuff real quick there. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, okay. So about this, I doubt it's something that's going to be done indefinitely. I'm sure it's just a PR stunt right now. So good publicity, because you know how that works, right?
Yes.
with companies.
So
So Apple says that consumers can now replace their batteries at a reduced price. Yeah, $79 down to $29, which for Apple, I'm sure Apple's still making money off this, but for Apple, that's a significant cut right there. I don't know, Zach, you do the math, because you're good at that stuff.
No, I'm not.
I don't know what percentage that is off, but anyway, it does look like we have Kiska LV in the chat with us. Hello, Happy New Year. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I'm sure it's a PR stunt. Apple intentionally said that batteries would not actually be available until late January, but has actually updated that in a post and said that they actually are available right now. But the company did tell The Verge in a statement that we expect to need more time to be ready, but we are happy to offer our customers the lower pricing right away. I'm sure a lot of people, as myself, I'm actually thinking about jumping on the bandwagon here. I've only had my phone for probably about a year or so, maybe 2. I don't remember exactly. I think I got it in 2016.
Perhaps jump on the bandwagon right as it's about to end.
Maybe. We'll see.
So you get the most time out of the battery that you have. Right?
That is true. That is true. But I think I am, because and here's the thing. Well, you know what? We'll get into that in a second. Anyway. Well, actually, you know what? Let me skim through this real quick. So yeah, they previously announced that batteries aren't going to be available until the end of January. They say initial supplies of some replacement batteries may be limited, which makes sense. The company admitted that it was slowing down older iPhone models or to compensate for aging batteries. After a developer discovered that the operating system was throttling their performance after testing the performance of several models. Multiple iPhone users have filed lawsuits against the company.
Yeah, I just don't understand how they think that nobody's going to notice.
Ignorance is bliss.
Like, yeah,
ignorance is bliss.
With the amount of people that have their devices, surely someone out there is going to have the capability to find this out.
I'm sure Apple is probably like, we know we're doing this. We know somebody's going to figure out, but we're just going to do it. And I could be wrong on this, but I'm sure this is probably the mentality of somebody. We're just going to do it for as long as we possibly can. So.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I'm not Apple. I guess I don't know.
So, anyway, yeah. I could be wrong on that, but anyway. So, in an attempt to move the show forward here, I just dropped another topic. So anyway, we'll cover it quickly, but not right at the moment. Oh, final thoughts on this real quick though for this battery thing. So I am planning on jumping on the bandwagon. Here's the thing that I would say is that if you're like me and you plan on keeping your device for at least another year, then I would hop on the bandwagon and get yourself a new battery. However, if you are planning on upgrading your device, either to another Apple model or you're planning on moving away from Apple, then I wouldn't spend the money on it. Well, actually, I don't know. Let me get your thoughts on this.
I mean,
well, here's what I was going to say.
I suppose with batteries, it kind of depends per device. Like, my Samsung, I mean, I've had this thing for almost 4 years and I've only replaced the battery once and it's still going strong.
Right. I haven't noticed any like decreases in performance on my phone, but like I said, it's something that I'm planning on keeping around for a while. So
yeah,
a fresh new battery in
for
it.
$30, it's
for $30,
probably not something you could go wrong with.
Realistically, I plan on having this phone for at least another 2 years. At least another 2 years. I am not the type of person that needs to constantly.
I'm coming up on 4, and I don't even know. I'm not even really dissatisfied with mine yet.
Exactly. Here's my opinion. If it does what I need it to do, and it's doing it reliably, then I have no need to upgrade. Some people need the new shiny. Here's the only.
If I won the lottery, I might upgrade my phone.
Right. Or if somehow we manage to make it big enough to the point where companies start sending us phones. I might start switching phones. I wouldn't
turn it down, right? That's what I'm saying, but
yeah, exactly. But
it's not really necessary right now.
The only other instance where I might, if you're planning on getting rid of your phone, sometime soon, the only other instance where I might say that you might want to actually take advantage of this right now is if you're planning on selling your old phone.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Selling it because that's a selling point right there. It's an older phone, but brand new battery in it. Know what I mean? So, probably get a little bit of extra money out of it too. And it's not going to cost you.
And you'll possibly be able to sell to the people that.
Right. Okay. You know what though? Here's the only problem I see with that. Average consumer probably not going to go through with that because I'm sure an average consumer does not have the knowledge, nor will they want to try to replace the battery. Some probably will. So I don't think that will work in all cases. But yeah, anyway. So, those are my thoughts on that. So, okay. Let's do this, and you are actually leading this one here, Zach, but hang on, let me do this first. Microsoft news time. Let's count the ways how Microsoft is going to mess this up. Am I right?
Yeah, I kind
of. All right, take it away, Zach.
So, here's a funny idea. How would you feel? Tablet that's kind of like a book, right? It's got two parts and they got an engine.
Of course. Hang on.
Did you have
hang on. Of course, as soon as I have you take over, your internet decides to just not cooperate.
Really? Oh no, yeah, I actually am looking. Yep. Okay, that's fantastic.
So I may have to take the lead back on this.
No comment.
So you try. Well, let's try this one more time, and if we continue to have problems, I'll just.
How
take
bad
over.
Is it?
Right now it's fine.
Horrible or no?
Right now it's fine, but as soon as you started, it was pretty bad.
All right, let's go. So, imagine a tablet, right? But it's kind of like in the middle, and so would you have a use for that? Because Microsoft apparently thinks that people might have a use.
Yeah, it's not great. Okay, so let me reiterate here. I caught most of it, but okay. Basically, would you have a need for a tablet that has a fold in the middle of it, correct?
Yeah, kind of. That from looking at these pictures, that does seem to be. Yeah. Anyway, Microsoft seems to think. Oh, here we go. I seem to think.
Oh, wonderful. Your internet connection is great. Oh, man. Nothing can ever go right on a RAM show. Have you ever noticed that?
Why can't there conveniently have a... Why can't we just conveniently have a Mediacom executive appear here so I can,
Hey, Mediacom. It'd be wonderful if you could fix your product so that, we could actually have a decent show every week, but... yeah. Anyway, so yes, a tablet with a fold down the middle of it, which essentially at that point, well, actually no, because there's no keyboard on it, is there?
Well, I mean, perhaps part of the idea is that the bottom part might become a keyboard through software, if you want it.
If you want it to be, yes.
Yes, it does. Why don't we... Okay, here we go. The second picture in this slide here. It does.
Oh, you're on the second picture? Hold on, give me just a second here. Let me...
The second picture. And you'll see that's the idea. Assume that the second... that are screens and not...
Oh, man, dude, you're cutting in and out hardcore. It could also be a Discord problem.
No, I know it's a me problem. Because I am observing my connection right now. It's
you are observing your connection. Drop. Oh man. Anyway, okay, fine. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take back over real quick here. Hopefully we have a good enough connection that you can join in with comments. So
I can actually hear you just fine, which is the worst.
So you can hear me just fine, but you're roboting voicing over here on my end hardcore.
Yep.
Anyway, so been 8 years since we heard rumors of Microsoft's Courier. It's kind of like a dual screen tablet that folds in half like a book. Why you would need this? I have no idea. Are you with me, Zach?
That was kind of my first thought. Did anybody want this? I mean,
does anybody want this?
It just seems kind of awkward. And gimmicky.
Well, okay. It's designed for note-taking and sketching and similar tasks like that. So, whatever. But I guess that they kind of decided to do away with this whole idea. I'm trying to wrap up the show here because it's 6:30 and I had... Anyway, we're going to continue moving on. Basically, it's this concept of... Now, I don't know if you read through the article or not. Did you? Oh, wonderful. Try that again.
I did.
You did?
I said brief.
Oh, briefly you did.
Yeah.
Okay, briefly
I might know if you...
yay. Technical
it's really just...
technical difficulties are going to be...
Why couldn't it wait 10 minutes?
I know, right? Why couldn't it have waited 10 minutes? Anyway, so I don't know. I can't remember. Is this something that they're planning on doing, or is it just a rumor of something that may be coming out, or is this just one of those?
Patent.
It's just a patent. So
this is a patent that they have acquired, or not acquired. They've filed a patent for this. So it's not really anything other than, well, Microsoft sees value in this
idea.
So
which nobody asked for.
I was more thinking like, would you have any use for this? Would this be an interesting product?
I would absolutely not have any idea.
Anyone else? I mean, I would actually say the same exact thing. This seems silly for me.
The idea behind this whole thing is like,
Do you think it
Hello
would
Netbook.
succeed?
Well,
Do
okay.
you think it would succeed?
No, I don't think it would succeed at all. Again, here's the thing. I'm thinking Hello Netbook, but with like possibly a digital like.
I think this is supposed to be like a thinner version of that, but
although as I'm looking here, as I'm looking here, it looks like it does have a keyboard. I don't know if it's actually built in or not. So
are you sure about that? I think that's a screen, and I think that's software
that could possibly be. It might be. If it's not, then it reminds me of like a Palm Pilot kind of idea.
Oh, and I should say that my connection appears to work now.
Yes, you sound much better.
Yes, I would hope.
Anyway, let me say this though. There are some other interesting things in this article that I think are interesting that I want to talk about real quick. First off, they are talking about something called they're talking about a brand new what is it? Shell, a single shell known as Seashell. And basically the idea behind this is Microsoft is trying to bring back the whole continuity, continuity across devices. Remember the whole Windows 8 thing where they wanted the experience to be the same across all devices?
I mean, they kind of sort of attempted that with Windows 10.
Yeah, so Seashell
at least for, I guess if we're talking about like not phones but mobile computing,
right? So Seashell is the latest installment of this idea, and from some of the pictures that I looked at, it actually looks a little promising. It kind of follows this idea, I think, at least the way I can kind of put it in layman's terms, is kind of like taking a web page. But now the idea is because we view web pages on so many different devices that web pages have become responsive now. And do you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, I understand what you're talking about. They like, if you load up a website on your phone, you're going to get a mobile version of it. Right?
Exactly. And so I think that's from what I
saw, no matter what you're on.
Exactly. And so from what I've seen, at least in the screenshots and what I've read about this, that's kind of the idea behind this new Seashell thing. Which I think if implemented correctly, I think will be a really great thing. It'll bring the continuity that they're wanting and things like that. Although, knowing that it's Microsoft, I fear that they're going to mess it up in some way. I still think,
as long as it doesn't affect the desktop experience, I guess.
I still think that Apple put it best, though. And you can, you agreeing with Apple on something, but you might actually agree on this statement. And that is that Apple says that they're never going to try to create a cross-platform software like Microsoft is trying to do. What they're saying is that, your desktop is meant to be used with a keyboard and mouse. Your tablet and your phone are meant to be used with a touchscreen. That requires different software.
Well, here's the other thing is that, like, if you're going to make a unified operating system, I guess, like Microsoft wants, right? Well, here's the problem is that when you take your PC version, right, you got that, and now you want to put it on a smartphone. Well, by the time you're done putting it on a smartphone and make it functional and satisfying to use on a smartphone, it's not even really the same operating system anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So why call it the same thing? It's just something different. If they're too similar, then it's going to suck on one of them.
You're right. It is something different. So, yeah. I think it's just going to be this interesting, like, if they try to roll it out, it's going to be this interesting thing. Although I don't know, as long as they don't mess with the desktop version of things too much, which it doesn't look like they're going to, I don't think I'm even going to really actually notice all that much, because here's the thing, is that I don't have a Windows phone. I don't have an, which one is Microsoft? The Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any of that stuff. So, as long as it doesn't affect me, then... heck, I don't really necessarily care, I think, at that point, so...
might irritate other people, though.
It might irritate other people, and it'll be interesting to see... Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, in true Microsoft fashion, as we've seen over the years, they'll probably end up messing it up somehow. And then... Or it could be like the Windows 10 thing, where they kind of sort of fixed it. kind of, sort of. But then with Windows 10, they also introduced other problems too.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah. Telemetry data. So, again, I will never understand this. So, I installed a brand new, my Mac. I've got Parallels running on it as a virtual platform because there is some software that I need to run in Windows that I can't run on the Mac platform. So I have Windows 8.1 on there, but I just decided, you know what? I'm using Windows 10 on pretty much everything else, so I'm going to upgrade it to Windows 10. So I did that, right? Still will not understand this. Why, Microsoft? Why? When I uninstall the adware that you have pre-installed in there, right? That comes with Windows 10 when you install a fresh new operating system, right? I uninstall that, right? Restart the computer, and then it's back again. Why? If I uninstall something...
Are we on this one again now?
If I uninstall something, I have probably uninstalled it for a reason. Please do not reinstall it.
Yeah, but we got paid really well to make sure you kept it.
Man. Like, nothing irritates me more than invading my privacy and installing stuff on my machine that I did not ask for. And I would imagine that you agree with me on that.
Yes. 100%.
So
no contest.
All right. With that being said, we're going to wrap up this week's show. Now, I wanted to get to the biggest tech fails of 2017, but we just don't have time for it this week. So here's what I think we're going to do. Next week's show, we're going to put that topic in there, and then we're going to look back at the biggest tech fails of 2017. How's that sound?
No problem.
And that gives me more time to actually prepare graphics and things like that for that and do some research into some of the biggest tech fails. So that's what we're going to do for next week. So that's what you can look forward to next week, as well as some other topics and things like that. So anyway, quick updates with the channel starting 2018. We're hopefully going to be pumping out some more content, a lot more content, hopefully. I've got some ideas for some things that I want to review, so hopefully those will be coming. And we're going to continue to work on the RAM show. That's going to still continue to be a thing. Reminder that we are changing the start time to 5:30. Still on Sundays. So Sundays, 5:30 Central Daylight Time. And yeah, other than that, I really don't think that there is much else. Happy holidays from us here at TechBeam. So I hope everyone enjoys their holidays, has a safe holiday, things like that. And we're excited for 2018. At least I am. I would hope that you are, Zach. So,
yep.
At least in terms of the channel and things like that. So, anyway, with that being said, I really don't have anything else to add for this week. Unless, Zach, do you? So, all right. So, with that being said, that's not what I meant to do. Let me find the right buttons here. It has been a few weeks since we've last done a show. But anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for joining us this week. I know that we've been off for the last couple of weeks. We've been taking some time off because of the holidays and things like that. But hopefully we'll be getting back into things very shortly here. And like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Zach, you're looking forward to it, correct?
Yep.
So anyway, so again, from all of us here at TechBeam, thank you so much for all of your support in 2017. We hope that continues into 2018. And we'll see you next week here on The RAM Show.